Welcome student. This is Tenrani and today's lesson is Everything I Need to Know I Learned in the Forest by Vandana Shiva. Okay. So Vandana Shiva, as already we know her, Vandana Shiva, the food sovereignty advocate, the eco-crusader, has written this lesson, Everything I Need to Know I Learned in the Forest. Right. So here we have seen that she has explained her love for food sovereignty through several concepts, right? That is Chikko movement, monoculture, biodiversity, and so on. That is rights of nature, and they are world's view, poetry of the forest. Already we have come across with all these concepts through some of the audio recordings of mine. Now today, more thoroughly, more vividly, I like to express myself, alright. So let us begin with the Chikko movement. Right, what is now the Chikko movement? I think it is very much visible to you. Few points that I have projected which are the very important and the aspect of examination point of view. You can see Chikko movement, which Vandana Shiva was grossly involved with. Chikko movement, we can say this was the first ever forest conservation movement happened in India. It started in 1970s and which went on becoming a rallying point for many future environmental movement. Right? So, it was very important because it practiced the method of satyagraha. It was the non-violent movement for conservation of forest, right? For protecting forest. The world took notice of this non-violent movement, which was to inspire to slow down the rapid deforestation, right? That deforestation that is still happening, okay? Because we think we are separate than nature. We think that we can grab all the benefits from nature. The nature has to give every protection, every measure, every benefit, but we have nothing to give. We have nothing to protect nature and environment, right? So, deforestation is still going on, logging is still going on, cutting the trees is still going on. So, this deforestation, rapid deforestation should be stopped, and the measure was taken from the lower elevation of Himalaya, Uttarakhand province, and who were the participants? You will be surprised to know that tribal people, they took the initiative, and most of them, they were female participants. I never say that male were not there, but the female participant, they took the initiative, right? Then it was most important that it was the evidence of a social awareness. It demonstrated the viability of people power. See, I must say that this was very important ever because it was for the first time it was the social addressing for the issues of the tribal people and for the marginalized people who were socially compromised people. Their issues came to the limelight, right? And this viability of people power, that means when the people came to know, they got acquainted of their own power and to project, to demonstrate their power, that is called the viability of their own power, right? And moreover, beyond the eco-socialism. You can call it the eco-feminism. This ladies, this tribal female, they had the capacity, they got the courage to stood against the social power, right? To break all the social barrier, to get involved in a movement, right? So this is all the Chikko movement is all about. Now, another thing that Chikko movement is, Chikko movement, why the female, most of the female, they were mostly involved, why they were interested more. See, logging laid landslide, logging, laid flood, scarcity of water, scarcity of food for the animals, right? That is fodder, lack of fodder, which normally they used to collect from forest. So that is a big problem. That means no forest, no fodder, no water, right? So gradually it will be a very prominent and acute problem for the ladies, okay? So they try to protect wholeheartedly this forest. How was the mode of protection and who were mainly involved? Most important characters who come up with this movement, they were Gauri Devi, Suraksha Devi, Vachni Devi, but we cannot ignore the name of Chandi Prasad Bhatt for this Chikko movement. The mode, the characteristics, or the features of this Chikko movement was, Chikko means chipakna, they used to hug the trees, okay. In order to protect the trees, the ladies used to hug the trees, and in order to protect that, hugging the trees, singing the trees, holding a lighted lantern in the broad daylight, that they will protect the environment, the soil, the live trees, right? Not the log, not for the business purpose further, but they will save the trees at any cost, right? This is the Chikko movement. One more important point, that this Chikko movement was awarded with the Right Livelihood Award in 1987, and for its dedication to conservation of restoration of India's natural resources, right? And this is all about the Chikko movement. So the points, once again, if we become these points, these are the Chikko movement, practice methods of Satyagraha. This is the conservation for the first ever conservation movement that happened in India, and it started in 1970s in the lower elevation in the Uttarakhand provinces, and that is the running point for many future environmental movements. And then this is the non-violent movement, and that stops somewhere then deforestation, and it spreads the social awareness, and it was the mark of eco-feminism, right? So these are the points. And what are the features? Hugging the trees and holding a lighted lantern in the hand, right? So you can get 4 marks question for this Chikko movement. You may get 6 marks question, and as we have discussed in the first year of yours, that you need to begin with the good, impressive introductory part, introduction, then you go for the illustration further for this answer, and a nice concluding line, you wind up your answer, right? That's the Chikko movement, right? So, keeping this aside, I like to move for monoculture, that is the next topic of ours. Monoculture is another important topic for today. Monoculture, first of all, what is monoculture? Monoculture, being the science student, perhaps you know better than me the definition. I may not to discuss, but for the sake of this lesson, I need to. Monoculture is the cultivation of a single crop. Okay, cultivation of single crop. So here, in the connection of monoculture, I need to discuss about a few advantages as well as the disadvantages in the light of biodiversity. Okay, what is biodiversity? So biodiversity creates an integrated food web where all are welcome with the cooperation of all the the animals, the plants, right? Cooperation and mutual giving, that is accepted in biodiversity. What is lacking in monoculture? Okay, so monoculture means a single crop, right? And when we are going with monoculture, what was the need for the monoculture? Here, while we are going with monoculture, few things we need to discuss, students. See, I felt that we should go with the concept of green revolution, which was the very conspicuous, very very prominent and acute thing that happened in the time of Lal Bahadur Shastri and 1960s, you can say. That is green revolution, we can say that is third agricultural revolution in India. It refers to a period when Indian agriculture was converted into an industrial system. Students, you need to know agricultural system, that is one aspect, and industrial system, that is another aspect. When it is a movement, you are moving from the agricultural system to the industrial system, right? So this is the system of agricultural system. When it was moving, it was converting to the system of industry, right? So while this was moving, this movement was going on due to the adaptation of modern methods and technologies. So why it was needed? Because to increase agricultural production in developing world. That means if we need to pace up with the developing world, we need to yield more production, we need to have more money, simple. Okay, so for more money, for more production and for industrialization, we need to switch from agriculture to industrialization. Okay, so what were this modern method? Modern method means use of high yielding variety of seeds, obviously, which gives more productivity, and pesticides because they are pest prone seeds, which gives high variety of seeds and more productivity. They are normally pest prone. Okay, so we need pesticides to use. That means the nutrient and the level of health care that reduces here. Then chemical fertilizers, more chemical fertilizers, because if the time is fixed, if the land is fixed, you have the intelligence to understand, then we need something else to support more productivity, that is the chemical fertilizer. Okay, so chemical fertilizer we need. Now, what is the disadvantages? Disadvantages are, these seeds are normally, these plants are, the seeds are non-renewable. That means, see students, we will have to consider the economical status of our farmer. The farmer, the poor, that means we don't have any clue how to get rid of the impoverished condition. Okay, so non-renewable, then pest-prone seeds, right? Then degradation of soil nutrients. Soil nutrients, obviously, when this you are using in the same land, the same seeds for many a times, definitely the system is poor and the soil and the land suffers. So there will be the degradation of soil, and when you are applying many a times the chemical fertilizer, the health of the soil and the nutrient that of the soil that will be going for a degradation. Okay. Then a rampant irrigation. Because of the rampant irrigation, the groundwater will be falling dramatically. Okay. It needs more and more irrigation. Okay. Now, if you are purposely going with some of the seeds which gives you high yielding, then you are purposely avoiding few seeds. Which seeds are necessity of us, necessity of the public. Neither the people they are getting the benefit of those seeds, nor those seeds are being cultivated. And because those seeds are not being cultivated, gradually those seeds will come to the brink of extinction. Right? Those seeds will be extinct further. This will be the situation because of the abrupt concept of industrialization, which were purposely ignored maybe. Okay. So this were noticed by Vandana Shiva, and Vandana Shiva wanted a solution. She has been conceptualized with the concept of Navdanya. Navdanya was a movement. Navdanya was a thought. In 1987, she was being conceptualized of Navdanya, which was being implemented. It was executed in the year 1994. Okay, that is saving food, having the land where he can invite the farmers. Where she can invite the farmers, where she can educate the farmer with the concept of fertilizers, and where she can teach about the seeds and the farming, and she can save the seeds. That is, it was kind of transition from fossil fuel and chemical based monoculture to diverse ecology system nourished by the sun and the soil, right? So this was the thing where she says that today she can grow 630 varieties of rice, 150 varieties of wheat, and hundreds of other species, right? So that is organic farming and preserving the seeds in the seed banks. So till now, for today, our session ends here. Thank you.